Hey Internet, my name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We are back, or we are still in space with our Laythe Lander, or with our prototype of the Laythe Lander. And yeah, the main goal for this experiment now is to have a landing at a well-selected target area. And yeah, this is what I like to do, but unfortunately we are already getting closer to the Terminator, and this means that I can't really do an efficient approach, because I think I need to do a burn for my Laythe landing maybe 1/4 before of the orbit before I arrive there, in order to save a little bit fuel to make the descent a little bit more efficient. And in this case, yeah, I think we need to do an orbit and do our deorbit burn around the beginning of the sunrise or so. So in this case, let us do this. Let us speed up a bit in time to do the... Oh, wait. Before we run out of electric charge, do I have... No, this is the version without any solar panels, so hopefully we are not running out of charge. Yeah. But, well, nevertheless, let's do the time warp to have a short orbit around Kerbal. And where is the sun? Oh, there's a moon. I don't think that we will... No, I don't think that there's an eclipse happening. But no, sunset. Okay, and moonset. Now we need to wait until we see the sun again, and then we will start to select a landing area where I like to try out to have a precise landing with a small engine. Hopefully this thing will work. Okay, the sun is now about to rise again. And yeah, what do we have here? I think this patch here could be a great landing area that or is it even a little bit too big for compared to Laythe? Well, I think this is a good idea to start off maybe with this lower part here that I like to land there. And yeah, I think this could be a good idea. So, maybe around here. So let me reduce a bit the orbit. So okay, when I'm coming down there, I think, or maybe a little bit more, this could bring me to a good approach. I think this is my main idea. Oh, I'm not sure if I have 206 meters per second delta V in this tiny engine. Okay, we need to find out. We need to test this out. The burn is coming up in 3 minutes. Let me do another short time warp to get closer to it. Okay, and yeah, it looks quite promising still. Okay, let's turn toward the maneuver node. And then we will see if we have enough delta V in this tiny thing to deorbit this, because this is also a requirement that we somehow need to deorbit our spacecraft. Maybe we need to add a bigger fuel tank down there also, but this shouldn't be so much of a problem. Let me ignite the engine. Okay, and now do the burn. Oh, it's quite a long burn, and I don't think that we really have the amount of delta V to do so, or do we? And it's currently hard to estimate watching the... Whoa, camera was freaking out. Maybe it's enough fuel in this. Or to be more on the safe side, I think the real Laythe Lander should have a little a little bit bigger tank in order to have a better control. Okay. So now this is looking quite promising. We will see what we can do once we are getting closer. Let's speed up in time a bit to drop toward the atmosphere. Okay, and... Okay, I think our approach is a little bit too shallow in this case. Let me... Whoa, I hope I can do this. Let me turn my spacecraft right on top of the nav ball, and now we need to do a bit of a burn to... Hopefully, yeah, now the thing is a bit increasing, and... Okay, we are almost out of fuel. Okay, in this case, yeah, I'm not quite sure if this will work out well. Let me do a little bit of physical time acceleration to see what is going on. And the next problem is I don't have any knowledge about landing on Laythe. Okay, we are now getting closer. So I don't know so much about landing on Laythe. And this means I have no experience how steep or shallow I should do my trajectory. In this case, I think for the final version or for the Laythe version, I should definitely add the bigger fuel tank to it, the FLT 200 with the double amount of fuel in it compared to this one. And yeah, now we are now losing our speed. This is good, and I think I should also use the last drop of my fuel. Okay, we are out of fuel, so no, I can't do anything else anymore. The only hope now to land here on the island, I don't think so. I can't do this. I think we will overshoot by a huge degree because we ran out of fuel, but we got quite close. Come on, come on, lose your lateral velocity. Stop drifting. Stop. We want to land here on this patch. We want to have a successful test. We are still too fast. We are too fast. We can't get to a stop, I guess. Or maybe... No, I think we will splash down. Okay, at first let me get rid of this engine. What happens if we are doing this? What happens if we are using our chutes to slow down? This is also an option we have, or we do have on Laythe, to use our chutes to brake us, to slow us down. Whoa. And oh no, we will splash down. Or will we land on the shores? It's hard to estimate. It's really hard to estimate. Maybe I should have popped the chutes a little bit earlier. I think we will barely drop into the ocean. Or it's so hard to see. And then I'm not quite sure if this thing is steep, or I mean, if we flip over in the end. But it's close. Okay, maybe, well, there is a slope. There's definitely a slope. This is not good. Okay, our braking engine splashed down. Okay, now the chutes have fully deployed. Let's extend our landing gear. I think to reduce the chance to flip over, I like to enable SAS. Okay, what is the inside view? Okay, and yeah, but we made it to this patch. This was pretty close, and yeah, the result is that I definitely should use the bigger tank for my deorbit burn. Okay, let's speed things up, and we barely made it. And now the question is, will we flip over once we hit the ground, or are we able to pull off a nice landing, or to finish off our test? Let me see this. And landing, and whoa. Well done. Okay, good job. We made it safe to the ground. So this was a success. Well done, Dirto. Well done. Okay, and yeah, oh no, and this is also the old version where the ladder is too short, or where I haven't completely adjusted the position of the ladder because you can see now, if I would do an EVA, I won't be able to return back into my capsule. In this case, okay, this is the older version, but we've seen the test was a success. Yeah, the test was really a success. We managed to land here. we managed to come down from orbit and landed in the designated target area around here, and I hope this is around the size of our island on Laythe. So it's definitely doable. We learned that we need a bigger engine or a bigger fuel tank for our deorbit burn. And on the other hand, we learned also that we can, in case of the danger of overshooting, we can just pop our parachutes to slow us down. And here, this is a great insight. And now I want to recover the vessel. Okay, Dodo was recovered, and Dodo is now sitting inside the next version of the Laythe Lander, because after I launched the previous one up into space, I realized we are doing a landing on an unknown or on a new moon, and I like to bring back some science. In this case, we need some additional science, and here the best way I found was to add it below the fuel tanks so that I can jettison them during the ascent. And I also did a little bit a change with the ladders, because I've shown you this on the island that I wouldn't be able to return back to my capsule in the previous version. And now let me just test out observe mystery goo. Oh, we haven't done this here on the launch pad. Interesting. Okay, let me just get some data and the science junior. Okay, we even haven't done this here. Now I like to do our EVA and like to climb down, because we need to test out if we can gain the data and collect the data, and if not, we need to improve a little bit this, because I don't think I can use the jetpack on the surface of Laythe. Okay, I could collect the mystery sample, and can I also do this? Okay. Apparently I'm not able to grab the science out of the science junior. This is a little bit problematic. In this case, I think I need to add a second ladder or some small ladders down there, so that my Kerbal node is able to grab the data and return it to the capsule, because as I said, this thing will be jettisoned during the ascent. In this case, let me just go back to the drawing board and add a ladder, and then we meet us again here on the launch pad. Okay, I have improved now the lander. Now I added some ladders to the experiment. So let me extend one on one side of the ladder. Let me extend the ladder on this side. So at first, mystery goo. Observe mystery goo. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. Okay, let's keep the data. And the science junior. Observe materials bay. The materials show little signs of change, though one of the samples appears to be judging you silently. Okay, let's keep the data. And now Dodo, it's up to you. Now let's climb down. And at first, you are able to collect this data. Yeah, remove data. Very good. And now let's move around. And then we will try out if the ladder is helping us now to access the data and to return finally the data back home when we are on Laythe. And now let's try this. Collect data, remove data. Okay, well done. Good job, Dodo, good job. And retract ladder. Okay, and now the final problem is that we need to find out if the thing is still able to return back to space, because now I added some additional weight due to the experiments. What are you doing? Dodo, careful. Grab. Okay. Very strong Dodo. He even is powerful enough to move the spacecraft around. Okay. Let's try this again. And let's try again to grab the ladder instead of running into the spacecraft. Okay, this time it's working. So let's climb up, and yeah, as I said, we need to find out if we are still able to return back to space, because the thing is now a little bit heavier due to the experiments. In this case, let me at first move a little bit around the parachutes, because we don't need the parachutes. Let me enable SAS, let me start the engine, and full throttle. I said full throttle. Okay, now it's moving, very good. Very good. Let's retract the gears. I hope I'm able to do this. I hope I'm able to return back to space, and if so, then I think the lander is then finally constructed and is finally able to fly up to space or to be launched and prepared for the flight up to Joule. Then the only thing that is missing is the driving section. But I think I can use one of the driving sections currently orbiting around Kerbal, because they have already... Okay, I'm at 1 kilometer of altitude. Let me ditch now the experiments. So this is my idea, to get rid a little bit of weight. And yeah, as you can see now, the acceleration is a little bit stronger. This is quite good. Okay, and yeah, I hope this thing is still able to fly up to space. And yeah, what's next? I was talking about, yeah, then driving section. I think I can use the driving sections being currently around Kerbal. I hope they are powerful enough, especially because at the one point on the way up to Joule, of course they need a little bit more fuel, because then the fuel tanks are full and the thing is quite heavy. But on the return side, you've seen that there is not very much fuel left in the capsule, so the weight is pretty, well, it's almost like nothing. It's like a feather when the thing is empty. So I think the thing should have enough, or should be powerful enough to even fly back home. And in case that we are pretty low on fuel, we will have the refueling thing around Laythe. So I think I can just use one of the driving sections to fly up to Joule again, and I only need to refuel them. But right now I need to focus to bring this thing up to orbit again, and yeah, then we should be able to focus on the next challenge, which is Tylo. I have already prepared some numbers for Tylo I like to present you, but at first I need to focus a bit on the ascent. Okay, we are a little bit slow compared for a normal rocket ascent to the 10-kilometer mark. Okay, let me just turn over in the hope that I still can fix this and I'm still able to reach space again. Hopefully I'm able to do so. So, okay, the acceleration is okay right now. The next benchmark, or the next important mark, is 20 kilometers and a surface velocity of, or a surface speed of 400 meters per second. I think we can do this. Yeah, I think the acceleration is okay to reach this goal. This is very good. But still, I'm not quite experienced with Laythe, because Laythe's atmosphere is not as high as Kerbal's atmosphere. But we will see. I hope I've prepared, or I've done everything right. So yeah, when the final moment comes and we fly up to Laythe, that we will also be able to return back home. Okay, the velocity looks good for our ascent profile. This is very nice. The thing is a little bit unstable because of the monopropellant tank I've added outside here. I'm currently considering using the other monopropellant tank and just place it on top of the spacecraft. I'm not sure, to be a little bit more stable. But at first, before I do this, okay, now we have switched to closed cycle. So let me watch these fuel tanks. Okay, now we can increase our gravity turn. And the fuel tanks are empty, so let's ditch them. Very good, very good. Okay, now it's about accelerating. I hope this thing is, this is pretty unstable. I think I should really do the change. And 88 and 100. Okay, let's stop here in about 3 minutes. Okay, I think this whole thing is a success. It's able to fly up to space again. Dirdo's happy. I think this is still working well. Yeah, I'm now considering removing this fuel tank and putting it on top of here with a different RCS fuel tank, but I'm not quite sure, because the other fuel tanks, the normal ones, have a little bit more weight than this one. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I should do. I'm really not sure, and adding 2 of them, I don't have so much space on my spacecraft to add additional one, and additionally, if I add a second one, then I would have also more weight, and more weight would make the ascent a little bit more complicated. Okay, let's turn toward the horizon again. And full throttle. But yeah, this thing is... Okay, let's ditch this, and let's ignite these engines. Crap, what is going on? Okay, the fuel tank rendered this thing completely unstable. Okay, we have learned another thing. I need to add a different fuel tank to this. This isn't working at all. Okay, we learned something. The construction needs to be improved a little bit. And yeah, the next thing is we will return at some point. We will return in about 4 minutes. So I can use these 4 minutes a little bit to talk about Tylo, because let me zoom out. Tylo is the next challenge. Let me focus view on Joule. Let me zoom in. And no, this was a little bit too close. Wall and Tylo. Focus view on Tylo. Very good. Okay, Tylo, the huge moon of Joule. Info. Tylo was the first moon of Joule to be discovered by the Kerbal Astronomical Society. After many failed attempts to take a flawless picture of Joule to hang on the office wall, it was finally discovered that the wandering white smear was indeed a moon. Scientists speculate that the view from the surface with Laythe, well, and Joule overhead must be quite something. Okay, here we will maybe find this out, but I'm more interested in the parameters because it has an equatorial radius of 600 kilometers. This is the same as Kerbal, and additionally the mass is quite interesting, and well, the gravity is a little bit lower than on Kerbal. And here it has no atmosphere, but with the equatorial radius and with the mass, I started to use some formulas, and I calculated that for an altitude or an orbit in 50 kilometers, the orbital velocity should be around 2085 meters per second. I hope this is right. Well, this is the formula I calculated and I used to have some insight or to have some estimate about what I need to do. What are we doing here? We still have some time, good. So about 2100 meters per second as orbital velocity. This means if we want to land on Tylo, we need on the one hand to kill these 2100 meters per second. Then the thing has some gravity, so we need also to fight against the gravity. So I say let's add maybe 1000 meters per second of delta V to this amount. So this means we need about 3100 delta V to land on Joule, and we need again the same amount to take off again from not to land on Joule, to land on Tylo, to take off again from Tylo and to enter the same orbit at a 50 kilometer orbit around Tylo. And this gives us with a challenge that we need to construct a spacecraft with a total amount of delta V of 6200 meters per second. And yeah, this is my main goal I think I need to do. And yeah, so much about the numbers. Unfortunately, I don't have any test bed because, well, it has about the size of Kerbal, but it has no atmosphere. So landing on Kerbal isn't exactly the same as landing here because the atmosphere will slow me down. And we don't have really another moon that's similar to this one. We can reach very, very easy, and in this case I just have to be confident in the numbers and in the formula I was using to calculate the orbital velocity at this orbit. And yeah, so in this case I will construct such a thing which should be able to have a total delta V amount of 6200, and it should be separated into parts. The first part to deorbit and to land should have 3100 delta V, and the next part to takeoff and liftoff should have the exact same amount. And this will be also quite challenging to bring this up here to Tylo, because then we need to construct a bigger interplanetary stage to bring us up here. So yeah, this is quite a challenge, but on the other hand, the thing needs only to be big to arrive at Tylo, because the resulting spacecraft will look like a little bit like this one here, like my Laythe Lander. It will be just a tiny capsule when it returns from the surface of Tylo, and in this case, yeah, I think it only the interplanetary stage only needs to be big for the flight up there. And the way back home, it will need a lot of or it doesn't need so much power, because, well, then the payload is completely different and has a completely different mass. Yeah, so much about the preparations and the talking about Tylo. And yeah, now you are aware of what I need to build. But as I said, I won't be able to really test out the thing. So yeah, maybe the only way to test it out would be to try out if I can launch the thing from the launch pad up to space from Kerbal. But this is completely different, because here I need again to fight against the atmosphere and so on. And in this case, I don't think I really can test this. And yeah, this leaves me now for the next episode with two main goals. On the one hand, you can see even on the parachutes, this thing hangs down a little bit because of the fuel tank. So I need to improve a little bit the lander, but this is just adding a different RCS fuel tank to the thing. And then I will construct the Tylo Lander, and then I can hopefully demonstrate you this in the next episode. And yeah, then it's about to prepare all the different interplanetary stages. I think we need I think we need 5 of them for each moon, 1 interplanetary stage. We have 2 already in orbit. So, or maybe 1 is enough for the outer moons. I don't know. I have to consider this a little bit. But yeah, this is a challenge until the next episode. So I hope you liked a little bit the introduction for Tylo and what's about the challenge for Tylo. That this is really a huge challenge to construct a lander with a total delta V amount of 6,000 meters per second. But this is nothing compared to how the thing is called, to Eve. But we will come back to Eve later on, or maybe during our Joule mission. I don't know when we will have the next launch window to Eve. But yeah, this wraps up today's episode. So hopefully you have enjoyed this, and hopefully you will be joining me in the next episode when we continue our Joule expedition preparation. In this case, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, my name is Sebi. See you!